Hello and welcome all you Global Flows junkies. I'm Patrick Brady, your host, and today is January 31st, 2024. If you detect a little bit of a raspy throat, that's because I'm a little bit under the weather lately, but I think I have only got one more or maybe 2 more days of this kind of voice and hacking. So welcome to Global Flows. Today we're going to talk about what we talk about on Global Flows, which is the flow of people, money, ideas, goods, immigration, etc. So I've got some China-focused highlights today. As you all know, maybe many of you know, I lived in China for more than 10 years, so I know a little bit about China, but today's China is very different than the one that I lived in when I moved back in 2013 or 2014. So the first set of articles here is addressing all of the global supply chain issues that we've been having and how it's affecting China. So it affects all of us because, well, in our business, we import goods. So there's less availability of containers. The prices are higher. Ships are, of course, taking longer to get to their destination, especially Europe, when there's disruption in the Red Sea. Panama Canal is also causing a lot of problems. I talk about this basically weekly. We've been having conversations with our freight forwarder and everybody in the industry we can talk to kind of see what's up ahead. And things are probably not looking to stabilize in the near term. But overall, we will see. We know that shipping companies are making record level profits. So I don't know. You can deduct what you want to out of that statement. Okay, a couple of articles here about China, supply chain, and major risks for the Middle Kingdom. Here's 5 bullet points for you to read. The Red Sea crisis affects global trade, of course. China's measured diplomatic response. So this is interesting because there's a whole geopolitical dynamic between the U.S., Saudi Arabia, Iran, China, Russia. It's really interesting right now to see how different countries are kind of allying with other countries. So China, although a bit of a partner, or they work well with Iran, and then now you get the Houthis disrupting waterways. And so China is a little bit of in a pinch there. The economic strain on Chinese businesses, obviously, with all the exports that China does, their businesses are affected, and certainly they're taking less profit or loss through these crises. The vulnerability of China's export-dependent economy. Next, geopolitical consequences and China-Iran relations, and then the impact on China's domestic and global strategy. Many of you have seen Evergrande in the news. That's the next story. Financial crisis. They finally face severe financial distress and fail to repay a bond and liquidity crisis. So they have basically been ruled insolvent and they're having problems. So I couldn't find a real article about how this is affecting people who have put their mortgages and deposits down, but I guarantee it's not a pretty picture. It has an impact on Chinese economy and real estate sector, obviously. A lot of people have their money wrapped up in real estate, and real estate's kind of like a 401k in China, as in instead of building wealth in stock market or stocks and bonds, etc. Because the real estate market has been exploding for 30 years, people have bought a second home or for which to rent out, like an investment property. And so when the real estate economy starts to tank, a lot of people are in big trouble. So, and then a lot of first-time home buyers put down a big chunk for the home to be developed, and then they can move in and start their mortgage later, and their down payment is just gone. We'll be keeping track of that. A couple other stories. China's Temu. I don't know if you've heard of Temu. My wife hadn't. I only have heard it through the grapevine. But they are aggressively coming into U.S. market. They're launching a $3 billion U.S. online ads blitz to challenge Amazon. I mean, who thought that anyone could ever really challenge Amazon? But Temu is trying to do that. They are worth $138 billion. So we'll keep an eye on that. the first company from China that was trying to do this fast fashion thing was Shein, Shein, Shein. So Temu followed them, and now they've overcome them. So what's going to happen with that? Chinese manufacturing activity contracts for 4 months as economic recovery lapses. And then Chinese investors are buying gold, and you can see the chart in the newsletter. Well, people are diverting their money from real estate into gold. And certainly if you watched last week's video, they're definitely not putting in the stock market because stock market's going one way in China. So, okay, very China heavy today on this newsletter and video. I hope that you enjoy watching it. I hope you guys have a great week. And here comes February. Hopefully the groundhog will not see its shadow and we can get to an early spring this year. Take care, everybody.